It's been such a privilege to have been elected as the Reform Member of Parliament for Runcorn and Helsby. And I will spend the next 4.5 years working as hard as I can to make sure all of the constituents, no matter how they voted, have improvements in their lives. Whatever it is that they need help with, I am there. The reason I joined Reform was because Reform stands for everything that I believe in, and that is family values, it is community values, and it is, of course, being so proud in this great country of ours. And I believe we should be able to shout loudly about that, to fly our Union Jacks. Only a Reform government will reclaim sovereignty for this country, will reclaim control over our borders. Only a Reform government will take back some of the power that our judicial system has. It's become politicised. Only a Reform government will restore our own energy supplies, making costs to businesses lower. These are all the things that people need to get more money in their pocket, for businesses to flourish, for the economy to be strong. These policies are all going to be in our manifesto, but this is the next step towards becoming the next government of the United Kingdom.
Please welcome to the stage Reform UK Member of Parliament for Runcorn and Helsby, Sarah Pochin.
Thank you. Wow, thank you so much. Hello, conference. It is an honour and a privilege to be standing here today as the first female Reform Member of Parliament. It's also an honour and a privilege to now be in a position where I can iron Lee Anderson's shirts. He makes such a hash of it. I walked past his office. I said, "Give me the iron, Lee." He was just hopeless. So, and sleeves first, everybody out there. There's a big national debate going on now. But I cannot thank the people of Runcorn, Frodsham and Helsby enough for putting their trust in me on that historic night in May and electing me as their voice. Someone who will stand up for those that have been so ignored by Labour, by the Tories for years. And in 4 short months, I hope that I've done more to put Runcorn and Helsby on the map than any Labour politician has ever done in their previously unbroken reign. My constituents will always be my priority. And in return, I would quite like a 6,000 vote majority next time, not a mere 6. That was a bit close. Although it made for some good headlines, and so many people come up to me and tell me that those 6 votes were their doing, including Nigel, by the way. Nigel was the last one in from door knocking that day, and he tells me that he won that election with the 6 votes. But more by-elections will come before the next general election, and we will win each and every one of them. We will win those elections with real people who have real life experience, who speak from the heart, and who believe in this country above all else. Before becoming the Member of Parliament for Runcorn and Helsby, I had a career in business, something that the Labour front bench can't claim. I was an elected borough councillor and I was a magistrate. I've been married for 30 years and I'm a mother of 2 gorgeous grown-up boys. My life has been turned upside down, changed beyond all recognition, as you can imagine, in the last 4 months. And with that recognition comes risk, The Reform politicians say things that other politicians are not brave enough to say. And with that risk comes security, which I now need, which is weird, although my chief of staff does tell me life would be a lot simpler on the security front if I just walked around everywhere head to toe in a burqa. Sorry. I would make sure it was a turquoise burqa. You can get them, on Amazon. I checked. I did actually want to walk on in one, but Richard Tice said no. He's very sensible. But this life experience has given me, I hope, the insight and the compassion a good politician needs to understand the things that honest, hard-working people really care about. We are a party who will stand up for the issues that most concern the British people: housing, jobs, immigration, public safety, the money in your pocket, and national security. Unlike this government and the last, when we are in government, we will put the interests of the British people ahead of foreign nationals and spend your hard-earned taxpayers' money accordingly. Our new deportation plan is entirely proportionate to the national emergency we face. We are being invaded, and the British people have had enough. Only Reform has the stomach to take radical, uncompromising action, because we care about the British people and what is happening to our country and our culture. We care about parents just trying to do the very best for their children. And we care about those children, their safety, their education, and their welfare. We care about our farmers. We will remove the inheritance tax on family-run farms. That tax that threatens the very future of our farming community. Today, we are launching Farmers for Reform, and there are people outside in the village with turquoise clipboards that will take your details if you're interested in that. But we're launching some interest groups today, and Farmers for Reform is one of them. But we care also about our veterans. We will not let them be prosecuted for simply following orders. We are also launching Veterans for Reform today. We care about our pensioners. We will not let them freeze over the winter. We care about nature and the environment, but at the same time, we will ensure our own energy security by using our own oil, gas, and coal to feed the supply chain. Reducing energy costs to business, because we care about business. We will support small and medium-sized businesses by abolishing business rates on our high streets to support the regeneration of our town centres. We care about a jobs market based on merit. We will put an end to diversity hires. The promotion of individuals because of their collective identity or background is an unacceptable incursion on freedom and meritocracy. Organisations must be able to hire the best person for the job, no matter their sexual preference or the colour of their skin. We care about protecting free speech, but this government is hell-bent on suppressing it. The new Online Safety Act does nothing to protect our children, as the name suggests. It is designed to stop you and me from speaking out. This government is more interested in policing our speech than our borders. When Reform is in government, we will repeal this so-called Online Safety Act because we must fight to keep democracy. Governments are here to serve the liberties of the people, not restrict them. And what of this government's latest Islamophobia definition? We could be prosecuted for saying anything critical of Islam. Whilst we respect other religions, we are fundamentally a Christian country. Are we going to find ourselves arrested and thrown into jail by this new elite police force that this government has set up to monitor our speech, our debate, our views? Well, I will see you in jail because I will never be silenced as I speak up for you and this country. We care about the safety of women and girls. I constantly speak out on this issue and highlight the disproportionate but very real threat faced by us from the invasion of illegal migrants, many of whom hold medieval attitudes towards women and girls. Rape and sexual assault cases have risen dramatically over the last 20 years in this country, in line with the rise of foreign nationals now living in our communities. Women and girls, often very young girls, are being targeted. And however inconvenient that might be for the left to accept, the reality is that it is happening in our communities up and down this country. Let us not pretend we are facing anything other than a national security crisis. This government is giving a platform to those that want to see our society changed beyond all recognition. This summer has seen protests up and down the country. Many of those protesting are mothers frightened for the safety of their daughters. Well, the British people are slow to anger, but we have been ignored for too long. And a government that defies the will of its people is a government that will fall. Only a reform government with our deportation policy of identify, detain, deport will remove illegal migrants and protect our women and girls. I will continue I will continue to be a champion for women's safety. Every woman has the right to feel safe at home, at work, and on our streets. On Reform's watch, a biological male prisoner will never serve time in a woman's prison. Reform will never sanction biological males inhabiting women's spaces, and Reform will not allow the early release of domestic violence perpetrators. And we care about crime. We have this summer undertaken our Britain is Lawless campaign with key policies that a Reform government would introduce to restore law and order in this country. Because we are allowing our high streets to be overrun with organised crime. Trading standards teams need to be empowered to shut down these crime hotspots. Turkish barbers, nail bars, vape shops, staffed by a ready supply of migrant workers. Furthermore, we should be prosecuting the landlords that knowingly allow this crime to go on in their properties. After 20 years, I would like to now turn to the courts. After 20 years working in the courts, I speak with experience about the urgent reforms that our judicial system needs to restore the trust of the British people. Our judiciary is now far too powerful, with the ability to actively work to their own agenda, undermining attempts to remove those arriving here illegally, or indeed override the legitimate concerns of local people, as we saw in the recent Epping ruling. The industry of left-wing human rights lawyers will be no more once we leave the ECHR. and repeal the Human Rights Act, both necessary and proportionate steps to reset this country. Enough of two-tiered justice, where someone who writes an ill-advised tweet goes straight to prison, whilst an illegal migrant who sexually assaulted a vulnerable teenage girl gets less than half of that time, or a paedophile gets a suspended sentence and is free to roam the streets. We need to address the failing prison service, whether that be overcrowding or lack of training and equipment for our prison officers, because our prisons are dangerous places to work and to reside. But we will not tackle the prison overcrowding by releasing criminals early onto our streets, putting the safety of the public at risk. Instead, we will deport all foreign national offenders from our prisons. And we will build Nightingale prisons in the same way we built Nightingale hospitals during the pandemic. We can do this. It's about the will of the government to do it. Turning to the police, we need to restore the confidence and trust of the British people in our police force, because we need to know that when we report a crime, it will be taken seriously by the police, and that no crime is too small to be investigated. We have had enough of police ignoring shoplifting at a cost of millions to business, enough of police no longer using stop and search to tackle knife crime, because we know how effective this policy is, and we will bring it back with a vengeance. And we have had enough of woke policing. Police appearing to sympathise with protest groups that simply do not reflect the views of the majority of the British people. But I am sure that the police themselves would like nothing more than to get back to tackling crime, policing with impartiality, and to protecting the British people. A reform government will address these issues and restore a strong police presence on our streets. Whether it's the judicial system, the prison service, the probation service, or the police, reform will have robust and costed policies on each in our manifesto. So, to conclude, conference, your reform politicians are real, we are fearless, and we love this country. We will take back control of our borders, regaining our sovereignty. We will deport all illegal migrants to their country of origin. We will restore law and order to our streets. We will reinstate free speech. And we will proudly fly the Union Jack from all government buildings and public buildings. Britain, under a reform government, under Nigel's premiership, and based on our principles of family, community, and country, will be great again. Thank you.